video that I've recorded, though the first one I ended up being mistaken, and so I never posted it. Thank goodness. It was a good brewery that I'd heard some article about them shutting down, but no, they had not. This one, however, well, I hope I'm wrong, but the news seems pretty consistent that Rogue Brewing out of northwestern Oregon is no more, which is very sad. I had my birthday beers there. They made some wonderful Kolsch beers. They're honey Kolsch and their various berry variants. Their blackberry honey Kolsch were beautiful beers. And I was so-so on the Dead Guy series. They were okay. I never got to try any of their Dead Guy whiskeys, but I understand they were pretty well regarded. But even if I didn't enjoy every single one of their brews, the brews I did have were really good. And they were known for being a capable and skilled brewery. Apparently started back in 1988 and the 50th largest craft brewery, so they weren't nothing. Anyways, this is to say goodbye to Rogue Brewing, maybe. I hope not. Please, let me be wrong again. But in honor of them, I will be drinking Dead and Dead, which is a Dead Guy ale aged on oak Dead Guy whiskey barrel chips. That's a pretty color. Oh, that smells pretty nice too. So the little tag on the shelf said this was a helles-bock or a my-bock. So a bock being strong, helles being pale. So a light-colored, strong ale. My-bock, that's the spring beer, traditional to Germany. Let's the last bit of chill in the year and then fortify us for beginning working. However, this was, let's see, canned in July, so it's not actually a my bock, though style-wise, it's a bock. It's light amber colored. And the aroma is malty. Malty, a little bit of a golden syrup. Have you ever had golden syrup? If you haven't, you should. It is wonderful. It's a caramelized sugar syrup, not like caramel and not like butter syrup. You cook the sugar long enough that it starts to caramelize, but doesn't get too far. So it's a syrup that has kind of a light caramel flavor, and it's more common in England. So you're not going so far as a molasses or anything so dark as that. Yeah, that's mostly, there's this nice, really malty sweetness. That's the dominant aroma. There's a little bit of a breeze, so I suppose in a closed room, there might be more nuance, whatever, all that caveat applies. It smells tasty. It smells malty. It smells very nice for a cool day, not quite a cold day here in late November in Washington. The head is profuse and quite willing to come back too. Maybe a hint of vanilla, but not much. No, it's mostly this malty sweetness, which is what you expect with a my bock, with a bock beer, an amber bock beer. Okay. A little bit of roasty, almost a dark chocolate, before fading into like an espresso ground, but a pretty dark one, like an Italian roast, which, I mean, I suppose espresso is typically Italian roast. So it's got the sweetness, it's got that malty, syrupy, nice sweetness, and then there's kind of this chocolate that comes in, and that grows till it's darker and more burnt, and then you get the kind of the espresso. It's never smoky, so it's not like I'm tasting. I don't know if they treated the wood chips for their whiskey with if they charred them. Typically, charring is done with bourbon barrels, I want to say. Whiskey doesn't have to have charred barrels, I believe. So it's not that there's charring, but there is some nice complexity to there that makes it more than just a plainly sweet, thick, filling bock beer. Right? There's more to it. And that more makes it very, very pleasant. I do wonder, since I've been to Church Key, how it would taste at the 50 degrees or mid 50s. I did just pull this out of the fridge a couple minutes before I started shooting, and then it's chilly outside today. I'm guessing it's mid 40s right now, maybe 50, maybe 50. Probably mid 40s outside here. It's cool enough that if I'm working, I only need a layer, but if I'm standing still, it's a little bit cooler. I'd probably like a jacket, to be honest. But I'm not going to run in and get one now. It's not so bad as to chase me inside. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Okay. So sometimes my complaint with bock beers, especially my bocks, is that they can the sweetness can be unmitigated, can be just continuous, challenging. I mean, they're fine, but I feel like something else, some other character to the beer would give it a dimension that would make it more interesting and more palatable over a full can, right? You taste a couple swallows of a typical simple Maibock, and you're like, okay, I know what this is, and it's fine, but whatever. With having more complexity, especially good, balanced, well-considered, tasty things, additions to the flavor of the beer, that additional variety, I feel, for me personally, makes the beer more enjoyable over the entire can. There's just something else to it. And this beer has that. In fact, the finish is this kind of dry, it's no longer espresso now. I'd argue this is probably the oak. This dry, woody character that's not unpleasant. There's definitely some hops in here, I'm pretty sure as well. But once again, they are the woody, the earthy kind of hops, rather than the green, bright, vibrant kind of hops. And so they are playing along with that dark chocolate to dry coffee grounds to oaky character. And all told, you have a really nice, dry, pleasant finish to this beer that it is then pleasant to wash away with another quaff. I learned that word by reading it, not by hearing it, and you don't really hear that word all that often. Q-U-A-F-F, right? Drink, another drink. Put it in my mouth again, right? Yeah, this is a pleasant beer. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. And in enjoying it, I am sad, for it is very likely I will not find another can of this. And I will not get to explore those other wonderful beers that Rogue might have invented in the future had reality not struck. The market being what it is right now, I understand the craft beer market's down 30% this year and all that kind of stuff. At the same time, there is always change in the craft beer scene, and one brewery closing does mean that other breweries might get opportunities as the market opens up and there is space in it for new and exciting things that might become the next Rogue. So it is sad when a brewery closes, but that's not the end of the world. There's also human suffering attached to it, and that is sad as well. That's frankly sadder than the brewery itself closing per se. I'm just enjoying the beer. There's other beer for me to enjoy. And that's kind of callous, but it's where I am, separated from it. But there are jobs and there were livelihoods that were connected to it, and that's far more challenging. And that's, let's just say, I hope and pray that those people who were whose lives were impacted by this find new jobs quickly. And maybe some of them might have the gumption to let it all hang out and open their own brewery. And who knows what magic may come from that. One can hope. Anyways, this is me, Matthew, drinking and enjoying. I'm not going to pour this out. I'm going to pour it down. Rogue Dead and Dead, a helles-bock, or my bock, that's been aged on the Dead Guy whiskey barrel chips. And I will catch y'all on the flip side.